This is almost scary. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 37 across America from Rollins, Wyoming on a happy Labor Day. And we've got bright sunny skies out there today. Forecast is for bright sunny skies and about 80 degrees as we head down towards Riverside, Wyoming today. This will be our last full day in Wyoming, and tomorrow we'll cross into Colorado. So I'm looking forward to that because I have the sun here again. I've never been to Colorado before. It's one of the 3 remaining states in the United States that I haven't been to. And so we're going to check that off tomorrow. Today the trip's actually going to take us out onto Interstate 80 for a little bit of a ride here. When we get west of or east of Rollins, we take about a 13-mile jaunt to get us over to a road to go south towards the Colorado border. So day 37 today. Yesterday being day 36 was a rest day here in Rollins. I got video uploaded, a lot of little things that I needed to get done like laundry, and I'm ready to hit the road now. And the plan is to ride 6 more days. I'm not sure exactly where that's going to take us, but we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along today. So we'll see you back out there on the road. Okay, well that took a little bit of figuring out. I'm glad I didn't have the camera on while I was doing that. I got lost there. To get on this road, which parallels I-80 for over to, I think it goes almost over to Sinclair or to Sinclair, then we have to get on I-80. I think you can get on I-80 here. I think in Wyoming it's legal to bike on the interstate anywhere out here. Most of the places in the West it seems to be. But I think it's kind of dependent upon the highway. But at any rate, I actually had to take the entrance ramp to go east to Cheyenne, and then it bears off onto this road. That wasn't real obvious on Google Maps, although now that I look at it, it was. I was following my breadcrumb track on my biking computer, and it was all confused about which way to go there, which confused me a little bit, but I finally got it figured out. So I got to film this Union Pacific train over here because it's the first one that I've come across. My cousin Troy is a crew member on the Union Pacific trains that run out of Boone, Iowa. So I'm pretty sure that this train probably came through Boone at some point. I don't know that for sure, but maybe. And maybe he was on it during the section that he runs over there. So I thought I better get a picture of this one at least. And there's my second Union Pacific train. I got to do a shout out to my cousin Troy here because he hooked me up with a couple of nights in the Best Western in Yakima, Washington early on in the trip. So I want to acknowledge that, and I'm going to beg for another one from him here, probably someplace in Nebraska. Maybe even towards the end of this week. Ooh, I just gave something away there when I said Nebraska, didn't I? Yeah, we got to talk about that because the route I planned didn't go through Nebraska, and some things have changed. So we'll talk about that a little bit later here. So here we are rolling out onto Interstate 80 for 13 miles. I just hope the shoulder's nice and clean, and so far it looks pretty good. But it's going to be noisy. Looks like there's more westbound traffic today than eastbound. And I would just like to thank the state of Wyoming for these clean shoulders, because they're pretty nice. Yeah, this doesn't feel too terribly uncomfortable at all, really. I mean, yeah, the traffic's whizzing by you at 75, but there's plenty of room. It doesn't really, other than the noise, it's not that much of a bother. So We're down to about our last half mile here of I-80. And this little section for about the last 2 miles has been the worst of the shoulder, and it's actually pretty good. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all coming across there. Just the noise. And I'm sure that will get better as we turn off here and head south towards Saratoga, which is the next town along the Trans-America Trail here. So I'd had a pretty good report from Mark on this riding I-80. He said it wasn't too bad, nice shoulders and whatnot, and he wasn't wrong. It was a mindless ride for 13 miles. And so we say goodbye to I-80, rolling on eastward there into the Wyoming hills, towards Laramie and Cheyenne. And we will head towards Riverside, which is our destination for the night, about 40 miles away. Nice little downhill to enjoy here for a second. Not bad. So I stopped here at this state historical marker. It's a marker of the marker for the Overland Trail, Platte River Crossing, which is 9 miles to the west of here. We actually crossed the Platte River back on Interstate 80. Just thinking about all the pioneers that crossed this land in wagons, on horses, and walking. Probably, I'm guessing most of them did a lot of it by foot. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that. And here I am out here biking across it, thinking this is some sort of feat of endurance and, I don't know, stamina, whatever, strength. And I got it pretty easy. I mean, I'm not going to get lost out here. I've got electronic navigation. I got stuff they didn't have 25 years ago or 40 years ago when the Trans-America Trail was carved out along this road by bicyclists, and they did it with maps. And I remember that before we had all this stuff, and I can't imagine doing this trip now without all of that. I rely on it so much, on the electronics and all of that, and then just to go back to when the people that looking at this marker that came across here when there was nothing here and they had to find their way, and it's just amazing. And kind of comparing that to being out here on a bicycle riding, I guess the physical part, I don't even think compares. I got a tent to sleep in every night, and I can carry enough food for 2 or 3 days on this bike. And I mean, they had to find stuff out here to eat, and in many cases, and it's hard to imagine it. So anyway, time to move on down towards Saratoga here. Well, here we are about 4 or 5 miles north of Saratoga, and I guess the town's down there in that valley somewhere. So here we are in downtown Saratoga. Not really sure where I'm going here. Looking for a sign for the hot springs. They're on my map. I just need to stop and look. I want to get down here in town and see what they got down here. I might grab some lunch down here. I don't know yet. I'm not feeling too hungry yet. So we are here at the Hobo Hot Springs. They are free, and they are open 24 hours. And that's there's a couple that want to go down by the springs there, and they lock their golden retrievers up in their truck, and they're just going down to take a quick look. And the dogs are messing around in the truck and causing the horn to keep going off. But anyway, I'm gonna go down here and check out the hot springs, go for a little swim, and relax for a bit, since I'm kind of traveling a little bit earlier today. So we are leaving Saratoga now. We are 18 miles from Riverside where we'll be staying tonight. I went to the hot springs there, and I got up to about my knees in it, and that was it. It was just too hot. And then the other one was the one that's supposed to just be warm, was actually cold today. It was even too cold for me to get into it. So I did about knee deep in both of them. So you got some real beauty off to the left of this valley. Between, I'll show you what we got here. High and dry to the right. Should be right straight west because I'm going straight south right now. And the road ahead, and then this beautiful valley between that ridge of mountains over there. We're sitting up at 7,000 feet here. Have been for I think we climbed up about 500 feet there someplace earlier today. Part of it was on I-80 and the rest of it was after I got on 135 here. But so we're coming into Riverside here, where we will be spending the night at, I can't remember the name of the campground, but it's right across the street from the Muddy, what do they call that? The Muddy Moose? The Muddy Moose or the Muddy Gap restaurant, which should be just around the corner to the left here. Okay, so I wasn't even close. It's the Mangy Moose, not the Muddy Gap. Boy, I wasn't even close on that. So I'm at the Pine Lodge here in Encampment, Wyoming. I was going to stay at a campground in Riverside, which is like a half mile back down the road, and the campground is closed. They were allowing camping in there, but on a if you can find the owner basis, which I couldn't find him. I thought about just setting camp up in there, but some hikers that are in there said that when he checked them in this afternoon, he put them in cabins because they got a bear running around in there at night. It's a black bear, and I didn't want to just set up in there and have to deal with figuring out a place to put food. There weren't really any trees suitable to hang my food up in. So I bit the big one and I got a room here at this lodge, and I'm not even going to tell you how much it cost, but it was more than I really wanted to pay, but I need a place. It's getting late, and I guess I'm kind of done for the day. So I mean, it's a nice place. I'll give you a little look here. It's just a little room, and it'll get me through tonight, and it'll allow me to not have to unpack and put a tent up. So I guess sometimes you just have to bite the bullet. So this will be the end of day 37. Made it from Rollins down to Encampment, Wyoming. Tomorrow we'll be in Colorado. I think I'm probably only 20 miles from the state line now, so probably pretty early tomorrow. I haven't really looked over the day tomorrow, but anyway, I'm gonna throw my stuff in here and go grab something to eat before the restaurant next door or up the street closes. So we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 38 of Across America. And we are about to cross the Encampment River, heading out of Encampment, Wyoming, Riverside, Wyoming, two towns that are like joined together at the hip, and headed down towards Walden, Colorado today. And depending on how long it takes me to get down there, possibly further. I got a late start today. I had a few things I needed to take care of. Discovered that my flight computer is no longer working. I had to order a new one, and it's gonna go to an Amazon locker in Fort Collins, and I can pick it up on Thursday, which is probably when I'll be in Fort Collins, I'm thinking now. So a little bit of a look at the scenery as we head out of Encampment and towards Walden today, and possibly further. We're at about 7,000 feet right now, and to get up over Cameron Pass, I believe it's just over 10,000. a little over 10. It'll be the highest pass I've been across on the trip, and it will be the highest pass that we cross on the trip. And so, as I alluded to yesterday, I've changed my route a little bit, and we're going to be going over, I gotta get down a gear here, going uphill again. We're gonna be going over Cameron Pass down into Fort Collins, Colorado on this new route, instead of up and around through Breckenridge and Granby, Breckenridge, Silverthorne, Cannon City, Fairplate, and down into Pueblo. I'm gonna be coming out of the Rockies here in Fort Collins probably on, and that's gonna probably be Thursday now that we'll leave or get to Fort Collins. Wednesday, I'm sorry, Thursday, yeah, today's Tuesday. So that's kind of the plan. The reason I'm doing that is to avoid any potential, not that any's forecast, but any potential weather that could be at the higher elevations going the route I had originally planned, which is to stay on the Trans-America Trail. Okay, so back to our little discussion here. I had to get up a hill there. And so, yeah, so I'm changing the route. I'm going to be taking, instead of the Trans-America Trail, down to Pueblo and then out across Kansas. We'll be taking Adventure Cycling's Eastern Express route, which exits the Rockies up here just to the, well, I mean, you go through the pass up here just west of Walden, up in Cameron Pass. I think it's about 20 miles up. Going this way is going to cut some mileage off, and it's going to get me done with the trip a little sooner. I'm thinking now that it's very possible that I could be in Florida by the middle of October. It's October 2nd today, and I think that gives me about 8 weeks. That should be more than enough time to go to do what I've got left. I haven't even calculated the total going this route yet. So anyway, that's the plan. Breaking off the TA down here at Walden today and taking the Eastern Express out of the Rockies over, going right through Fort Collins, and then down into a downhill run down into some flatter sections of eastern Colorado, and then off into Nebraska over the next few days. So I apologize for those that were really looking forward to seeing that kind of central mountainous area there west of Denver and Colorado Springs. And I miss it too, and I do have a plan to come back and do that section of it and Mount Evans at some point. It won't be during a trip. It'll be coming out here and just spending some time out here doing that portion of the ride and riding up Mount Evans, and hopefully maybe that'll be something I do next summer. So to give you a little downhill thrill here. It says it's 7% downgrade. I suppose it could be. Oh, you can see the highway rolling out in front of us down there now. We're gonna have a pretty good stretch of another very gentle climb there, it looks like. Wow, this is pretty up here. I love the way that you get the reveal here as you go around the corner. I think that is so cool. I have no idea how fast we're going, but I am getting a little cold. Man, this is steep. Wow. So we'll go back up over this knob and see what awaits us on the other side of our fun-filled day of getting into Colorado. And we are now, what, about 10 miles out? Well, the road giveth, and once again the road taketh away. We got back up to 7782. And now we get to give it away again. I probably ought to check the weather. It's To the east, it looks kind of stormy. So this is what lunchtime looks like at the on the Across America journey. Just made myself a couple of peanut butter, actually I'm not doing sandwiches, I'm doing tortillas because I couldn't get my whole wheat bread that I like. And so I'm eating these peanut butter tortillas, and I sprinkle trail mix in with them, and they're really good. Now I'm gonna have to come back over to the camera now. And I know I'm eating with talking with my mouth full and eating with my mouth open, which makes sense if you're talking while you're eating. This ranch actually starts way back there, beyond the top, or about the tops of those hills. And I'm about 6 miles from the Colorado border, and this ranch goes into Colorado, all down through this valley here. Okay, here we are, rolling into Colorado, a whole bunch of us. With friends. This is the welcome wagon for Colorado. And some nice folks from Michigan that I stopped and talked to out here touring around on their motorcycles. So we are 22 miles from Walden, which is where we are definitely going to be stopping tonight. And I am already missing the shoulders of Wyoming. Thank you, Wyoming, for your wonderful wide shoulders, and Colorado, I hope they get better. So here we are in our first couple of miles of Colorado, and looking beautiful. There we got another nice hill up here ahead of us to roll down and then roll up. Well, we won't be rolling up that one, I don't think. I think we'll be pedaling that one a little bit. And here we are crossing the Platte River. So this is what I just came out of. I always pick the wrong time to decide to do a descent without the camera on, because that would have been perfect. And well, I'm not going back up there. But beautiful valley down here opens up. So we are rolling down the hill into Walden, Colorado, on what has turned out to be a cold, a little bit rainy afternoon, just sprinkling off and on. But with the colder air, it's just kind of gotten miserable the last 5 or 6 miles, with just a little bit of moisture on me. But we're heading into town here. I gotta go check out the city park. They're supposed to be able to camp there. I think I gotta call the sheriff or something here to let them know I'm camping there, but I wanna go see what that looks like. The wind is really wicked out here, blowing out of the west. It's been a little bit perilous staying on this narrow shoulder with that wind blowing. And it's been like this for like the last 3 or 4 miles. It's been really blowing hard, on and off raining. But made it to Walden. I wanted to go further today, but 2 things happened. I started too late, and I stopped to talk to too many people. Not for too many people, but for too long. But that's always going to be the case. So I'm going to roll up here and go check this park out, see what the situation is there.